Good morning, Magic Players and card collectors of all kinds. Well, I did get through the intro without the coughing, so positive. But I am still kind of sick. It's not as bad as it was Sunday and Monday, that's for sure. Soup was a really good idea yesterday for lunch. Glad that I did not put it off an extra day. But aside from soup, yeah. Still got the fun runny nose and the fun cough, so do expect that there might be some weird, cold noises throughout this video, and I apologize in advance for that. But I felt bad for you guys already having to miss jumpstart your day yesterday because I just really wasn't up to cracking another pack. On the plus side, that means we're going to be back on track starting next week. In terms of we can go three per week and finish off the box the week of my birthday, which would be awesome. But in terms of today, though, today being Tuesday for you guys, and for myself too, I'm recording this on the actual day of, for once in a change, it's time for Dollarama Draws of Destiny! I have 4 packs of Destiny for you guys today, largely because when I went to grab packs this morning, I noticed that this one is split on the side. And I kind of wanted to count just to see if there's enough, if all the cards are in there and what have you. And yeah, since it's already pre-opened, I figured we're still opening 3 packs technically, so I didn't really break my rule. And yeah, we're just going to check out this one first probably, and then do one more pack. And then I'm going to throw some Kaiba content in the middle of this for you guys, because I haven't been home yet, and I don't know whether my dad is going out today or not, but given how yesterday went and the mood that he was in, I figured I've got to stop here anyways for the grocery store and to pick up Kaiba some yummy meat sticks for his Christmas present to finish that off, because that's the only thing that I'm missing besides a bag or 2 of livers, but I'm going to grab those anyways at the end of the week, so I'm not worried about that. But I figured I'd grab the meat sticks today while I'm in here grabbing the groceries, and then I'm sure that I won't miss the chance to grab some for him before Christmas, if that is the case. And so, yeah. I'm not sure what I'm going to put in the middle here, whether I'm going to film something new with Kaiba when I get home, or whether I'm going to just put in something that I've already got recorded. But there is going to be one more, at least one more, sweet potato video coming out soon too. I just have to do all the editing and stuff, add in all the text and what have you. But I am working on that, so hopefully that'll be out today or tomorrow. And yeah, today is my last day of physio. I'm supposed to be moving on to something called strength training now. So instead of it being about healing, it's about kind of like rebuilding the muscles ability, because the muscles should be healed enough by now, which I will say I'm actually feeling a lot better. And shout out to Sam. I don't think you'll ever actually, or not Sam, my God. Shout out to Sarah. I don't think you'll ever actually watch my YouTube channel because I've never actually told you about it. But I just wanted to say thank you for all the help. You've been amazing and very supportive, and the stretches that you've been giving me have been super awesome to get me back into shape. And I'm feeling very little to no pain anymore, which is amazing. I'm just really tired a lot of the time. So I'm assuming this strength training stuff will help with regards to that. And then once my endurance is built up, I'll be back to tip-top shape like normal. But anyways, that's the update about me. And now it's time to get some packs. So let's get into this one, because this one's already opened, and just see if all the cards are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, they should all be there. So that is good. And let's see what this first pack has. Reclusive Taxidermist. 1 and a green for a 1/2. Gets +3/+2 as long as there are 4 more creature cards in your graveyard, and it taps to add 1 mana of any color. So it becomes a 4/4, and it's still a mana dork, which is pretty insane. So actually, that's a really good pull. I'm happy with that to kick us off. Hired Blade, 2 and a black for a human assassin with flash, 3/2. I'm assuming this is from Assassin's Creed, and I mean, It's not terrible. I do prefer a 2-3 over a 3-2, but I do like that it has flash, so I can throw it in as a random blocker if I need to. Not bad. Ooh, Grizzly Ghoul. That looks cool. 2, a black and a green for a zombie bear. Trample 4-3. When this thing enters battlefield... Oh, no. This thing enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it for each creature that died this turn. That's insane. I like that a lot. That might actually be... is that better than the Mana Dork? Probably not. But, I mean, I really like that. That's definitely up there. Shriekmaw. 4 and a black for a 3-2. Fear. When this thing enters the battlefield, destroy target non-artifact, non-black creature. And it has Evoke 1. You can cast this spell for its Evoke cost. If you do, sacrifice it when it enters the battlefield. Interesting. I like the artwork on it. It's not an old school card, though. But I thought it was, to be honest. Ooh, we hit our legendary for the day, at least. Wrath, Compassion, Ship's Mage. 2, a white and a blue for a 3-3 with flash flying. And you can cast your historic spells as though they had flash. That is a good one. I have a couple copies of him, I think, already, but it is always good to have an extra copy of that, for sure. Ooh, a new version of the artwork on Pacifism. Snoop will be happy with this. I don't think I've ever seen this one before so far. Enchant creature. Enchanted creature can't attack or block. I'm not sure if I've ever pulled an M20, but I do like this artwork. It's pretty. Can't a fella get a moment's peace around here? I like that too. Flavor text is kind of cool on that one. Golem's Bite. 1 black. Instant. Target creature gets -2/-2 until end of turn. Pay 3 and a black. Exile this from your graveyard and the ring tempts you. In a deck that focuses on the ring, that wouldn't be bad. I'm going to call that a mid card, though, for now. Dream Spoilers. 3 and a black for Fairy Warlock. 2/2 flying. When you cast a spell during an opponent's turn, up to 1 target creature an opponent controls gets -1/-1 until end of turn. Interesting. Black usually isn't super fond of doing all that shenanigans on other people's turns, but that's interesting. I'm still saying the Ghoul, the Grizzly Ghoul and the Reclusive Taxidermist are the best ones, but that's not a bad one. Temple of Triumph is our land. We're going to tuck that right in behind Wrath. Gives us a scry, gives us red or white. Artillery Blast. 1 and a white. Deals X damage to target tap creature, where X is 1 plus the number of basic land types among lands you control. So essentially up to 6 damage, which isn't terrible. And instant speed, that's not bad, but it's only good in a deck with a lot of different types of lands. Syncopate. X in a blue. Counter target spell unless its controller pays X. If the spell is countered this way, exile it instead of putting it into its owner's graveyard. Neat. I like that one. Good counterspell. Petrify. Enchant artifact or creature. The enchanted permanent can't attack or block, and its activated abilities can't be activated. So, right. Ambuscade. 2 and a green. Instant. Target creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn. It deals damage equal to its power to target creature and opponent controls. Yeah, okay. Undead Servant. 3 and a black for a 3/2. When it enters the battlefield, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token for each card named Undead Servant in your graveyard, which unfortunately does not work in Commander. So that is disappointing, but it's kind of a cool card. And finally, Faith Unbroken. 3 and a white. Enchant creature you control. This thing enters the battlefield. Exile target creature and opponent controls until this thing leaves the battlefield. And my enchanted creature gets +2/+2, which isn't terrible. I do hate those kinds of cards. I've mentioned this several times because I don't like leaving just a giant target on the field for somebody to negate or destroy in order to get back whatever they had before. But this one at least gives me some power. So I'm not going to knock it too hard. Pack number 2 coming at you. Want to get this done and get home. My appointment for physio is at 12:30. It's currently just after 9. So if I can finish this video, get inside, and get the groceries super quick, I can maybe be home before 10. Get Kaiba out to play for a bit, or possibly even for a walk, and then maybe get to lay down for a little bit even. Hulking Metamorph. 9 for a 7/7, or 2 and 2 blue for a 3/3. You can have this thing enter the battlefield as a copy of an artifact or creature you control, except it's an artifact creature in addition to its other types, and its power and toughness are equal to whatever this thing's power and toughness are. That is insanely cool. Does that replace the Mana Dork? I don't know. I think that's definitely better than Wrath, though. I'm calling that top 3. Right now, top 3 is still the Reclusive Taxidermist. I think the Grizzly Ghoul is insanely good. I know what deck I'm going to put this in right now off the top of my head, and I'm telling you it's going to get powered to heck in that deck. And then Hulking Metamorph is just phenomenal. So those are our 3 top pulls so far. Molten Birth, 1 and 2 red, create 2 1/1 red elemental creature tokens that and flip a coin. If you win the flip, return this thing to its owner's hand. That's kind of neat. I like that. Nettle Drone, 2 and a red for a 3/1 Eldrazi. Devoid, tap to deal 1 damage to each opponent. Whenever you cast a colorless spell, untap this thing. That's fucked up. Pardon my swearing, but that is really messed up. Good pull. Scythe Tiger, 1 green for a 3/2 cat with Shroud. When it enters the battlefield, sacrifice it unless you sacrifice a land. Eee. You're going further down the list. Eye Gouge, 1 black. Target creature gets -1/-1 until end turn. If it's a Cyclops, destroy it. That's funny. I don't know how many Cyclopses there are actually in this game because I've never really seen that many. I don't think ever played against me, but neat card. Fear of Lost Teeth, 1 black for a 1/1 Nightmare creature. When it dies, it deals 1 damage to any target and you gain 1 life. I like that. And it's a holo. Not that Snoop is a huge fan of holos, but I like them sometimes. And this one's kind of neat looking. As it drew closer, Sam felt her own teeth wriggle in their sockets, as if they wanted to leap out and join the thing. Ooh. It's kind of creepy. It's like a human centipede thing going on or something, but for teeth. I mean, it's not top material, but it's definitely up there. Dreamdew Enchancer! I like this guy. He's got reach, he's a 3/4, he's 2 and a green and a blue. And whenever he enters, you can tap up to 1 target creature and put 3 stun counters on it. If you control that creature, you get to draw 2 cards. So it's kind of neat because you can tap your own thing down if you need extra cards in hand. But what's really cool is eventually when I build a Frogs deck, I'll be able to put this guy in, blink him out, put him in, blink him out, put him in, blink him out, multiple turns in a row, and stun a whole bunch of stuff. So he's actually a really neat card. And he's definitely going up there in my list. Venom, Evil Unleashed. There's our second legendary of the day. And I think this is the second time I pulled this. But 4 and a black for a Death Touch creature, 4/5. Solid stats. Pay 2 and a black, exile this from your graveyard, put 2 +1/+1 counters on target creature. Gets Death Touch until end of turn. I wish it got a Death Touch counter. I remember saying this the last time. But this is still not bad. Am I going to make it a commander card? Or like a commander of a deck? No. But am I going to use it in a commander deck? Probably. Nice looking forest. M10. I like the artwork on this one. It's like tree houses for a change instead of just like big ass buildings. Nylea's Emissary. 3 and a green for 3/3 with Bestow, 5 and a green. It's a cat. Trample. If you enchant the creature instead, it gets +3/+3 and has trample, which is nice. I like that a lot. That is going up near the top. Bearer of the Heavens. 7 and a red for a 10/10. 2014. It looked like an old school card, but it's not. When this thing dies, destroy all permanents at the beginning of the next end step. Holy macro. Well, I kind of think that's pretty good. I kind of think when I build a mono red deck, that thing's going in there. Is that top 3 worthy? I think I might have to knock my Grizzly out and put that into 3rd place. And move the hulking guy up to number 2. Student of Ojutai. 3 and a white for 2/4 human monk. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you gain 2 life. Heck yes, that's a great card. There's our first grade of the day, but that might actually have to knock the... Yeah, I think that knocks the Grizzly down another peg. Guild Scorn Ward. 1 white. Enchanted creature has protection from multicolored. Nice. Very solid in Commander. Most people don't play monocolored. Moment of Triumph. 1 white. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. You gain 2 life. The downside to the one that I just showed is that if most instants and sorceries are not multicolored, that's what I was going to say. A lot of like the sorceries that would target that, for example, blue, are going to be mono blue. And lastly, in this pack, we had a Junk Winder, affinity for tokens, which is awesome. 5 and 2 blue. Whenever a token enters the battlefield under your control, you get to tap target permanent opponent controls. It doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. Pretty solid little snake. I do like having an extra copy of that. As we head into the pack break, for the Kaiba content, we are currently looking at these as their top 5. And I'm definitely going to say that these are the top 3. I think that's insane that you destroy everything, including lands. This one lets you copy something, and this one is pretty good as a mana dork still. I think that's... Is that the best one right now? I don't know. Maybe the Hulking is actually the best one. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments where you would put these. Anyways, I'm going to stop this here, and we're going to put in some Kaiba content for you guys. Whoops! Camera shake! Snowball Break! Do you want another one? Should I make another snowball? Yeah? Oop, that one hit the fence. I need to make another one? Yeah? Alright. Okay, you ready? You ready? See if I can get this one to not hit the fence. There we go. That's better. Bless you. I think we should go back inside. You've got the sneezes. Come back out after, okay? Come on. Let's go inside. Alright, we're back. I hope you guys enjoyed that Kaiba break. Whatever he was doing, I'm sure it was very cute. Because Kaiba's always super cute. And we're going to crack pack number 3 and see what we get. So far, we pulled some pretty cool stuff this week. I'm not going to lie. I'm actually pretty stoked to see what I can do with that mono red creature. The giant that destroys everything. Ooh, we got a couple of flip cards today. It's been a long time since we pulled flip cards. I'm actually really excited about this. All right. Let's see what we get for the dual faces and everything else. We got Deliberate. That's a classic and a good one. Scry 2, draw a card. I'm always good to pull one of those. Font of Ire. 1 in a red to put into play. 3 in a red to sacrifice it and deal 5 damage to target player. Meh. I hate when you don't do anything when you come into play. Revenant. 4 and a black for flying, and its power and toughness are equal to the number of creature cards in your graveyard. Heck yes, I'll take that any day. Mindraker. 3 and a black. When it enters the battlefield, you may put a card from an opponent owns from exile into that player's graveyard. If you do, each opponent discards a card. Huh. That seems really complicated to get off. So far, Deliberate and Revenant are the best out of this pack. Dungeon Crawler. Enters the battlefield tapped. When you complete a dungeon, you may return this thing from your graveyard to your hand. That's pretty cool. 1 and a black for a 2/1, but I mean, I do have a dungeon deck. That might make the cut for my dungeon deck. I like that, actually. Except for the fact that it has a weak butt, of course. Our Hollow is a Glowspore Shaman. Nice. I do have 1 or 2 of these in some decks. Even though it's a 3/1, it does have a pretty neat effect. So I'm going to probably replace the one that I have currently with the Hollow one. Game Trail as our land for turn, which is a good one. If you can reveal a mountain or forest, it enters untapped and gives you red or green. I'm pretty happy with that. Cunning Geyser Mage. 2 in a blue for a 3/2 with kicker 2 blue. When this thing enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, return up to one other target creature to its owner's hand. No thank you. You kind of suck. Goblin War Wagon. Okay, well, we are playing something with goblins soon, so 4 for 3/3. Doesn't untap during your untap step. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may pay 2 if you don't untap it. What the hell? This is terrible. I thought it was going to give me something cool with goblins, but it does nothing with goblins. Okay, so here's our first dual face card. It is Dormant Grove. 3 and a green. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Then, if that creature has toughness 6 or greater, transform this thing, and it becomes a 3/6 Vigilant Tree Folk, and gives all your other creatures vigilance. Hell yes, this is a huge hit. That might be a hit of the day, actually. Because that is going to go in my mono green deck, and it's going to pump the crap out of that deck, which is going to be amazing. We got double copies! Oh! I am so happy with this. I didn't realize they were both the double face cards were both the same thing. Because when I got it originally, this one was flipped over. So I was looking at it from the back side, and I had it like this. I didn't realize they were both the exact same. That's awesome! Oh, now mono green and something else can get this really cool enchantment. Nice! I might put this in my wolf deck for all I know. Who knows? Anyways. Valduk, Keeper of the Flame. 2 in a red for a 3/2 at the beginning of combat on your turn. For each ore and equipment attached to this thing, create a 3/1. I already have a copy of this, but I did not have this version of the artwork, and I actually like this version a lot more. That is our 3rd legendary of the day, too. We are doing solid for legendaries. Grixis Sojourners. That is an older card for sure, because, nope, apparently 2009. I was going to say, I had this one in my university deck, so 2009 makes sense, though. That's when I started playing. 1, blue, black, and red for 4/3. When you cycle this thing, or it's put into the graveyard from play, you can remove target card in a graveyard from the game. It's 2 and a black to cycle it, so pretty decent card overall. Shorekeeper, 7 and a blue to tap this, sacrifice to draw 3 cards. Otherwise, you get to put it into play for blue, and it's a 0/3. That is freaking horrible. And Jolted Awake. 1 white, sorcery, choose up to 1 target artifact or creature card in your graveyard. You get 2 energy, then you can pay an amount of energy equal to that card's mana value. If you do, return it from your graveyard to the battlefield. Ooh. That might actually go into my energy deck, because my energy deck is red, white, and blue, so not a bad pack. Definitely, I mean, the Dormant Groves are sick. That is definitely probably going to be my favorite hit of the day. I know that I'm betting Hulking Metamorph is still probably the best card of the day by far. just because of the fact that you get a copy of whatever you want on the battlefield. It is something that you control. It can't be something that somebody else controls, which is a little bit of a downside, but I mean, if you're playing the right deck, that's not going to make much of a difference. Perfectly honest, I might put that in mono blue. That mono blue deck that disgusts Snoop so much. But I haven't decided for sure yet. There are like 3 different artifact decks that I run, and all of them have blue in them, ironically. So there's the red, white, blue energy deck, which is technically artifacts. And then I also have a red, blue, green artifact deck, which I've shown on the channel, I think, before, but it's not been a Super Deck Sunday one. So when I do a new edit for that one, maybe you'll see it. All right, no dual modes in this one. This is our last pack. Let's get this done so I can go see Kaiba. Blast Fire Bolt. 5 and a red. Deals 5 damage to target creature. Destroy all equipment attached to that creature. That's costly, but cool. Skull Wren. 3, a black and a red. Deals 2 damage to each opponent. Those players each discard 2 cards at random. I have a deck that's definitely going to go into, and it's going to be fun to play that card, and people are going to hate that card just like they hate that deck. 4 and a blue for 2/2 flying. When this Screaming Seahawk enters the battlefield, you can search your library for a card named Screeching Seahawk. Nope, you are useless. In Commander. Seek the Horizon. 3 and a green. Search your library for up to 3 basic lands. Reveal them and put them to your hand, then shuffle. That's pretty good. Soul Stare Expedition. Black. Landfall enchantment. Okay, I do like enchantments that have landfall. When land enters the battlefield under your control, you may put a quest counter on this thing. Remove 3 quest counters from this thing, sacrifice it, return up to 2 target creature cards from your graveyard to your hand. That's a long walk to a cool effect, but I still like it enough that I probably run it. Norn, Swift Survivalist. That means we pulled a legendary in every pack today. That's insanely cool. This is a holo, which is also nice. And I do already have 1 copy of this, but I have been considering making a mono red deck actually using this. I thought it was kind of a funny one. Whenever a creature you control becomes blocked, you may exile it. You may play that card from exile this turn. What I was thinking is if I could get a whole bunch of creatures that have ETB things, that might be fun to play as a mono red deck, but I haven't really looked into it carefully enough to know for sure. Ooh, we're hitting a lot of good stuff. Chandra, Fire Artisan. 2 and 2 red for a 4 loyalty Chandra. Whenever 1 or more loyalty counters are removed from Chandra, she deals that much damage to target opponent or planeswalker. Ooh. +1, exile the top card of your library, you can play it this turn. -7, exile the top 7 cards of your library, you can play them this turn. I mean, she's not as good as I was originally oohing and awing over, but I'd still probably run that in a certain deck that I want to build eventually. Spider-Girl, Legacy Hero. We did not pull this in our Spider-Man run, so this is a new one for me. During your turn, she has flying. She's a green and a white for a 2/2, and whenever she leaves the battlefield, you create a 1/1 green and white human citizen creature token. Not bad. And I think, no, she's not. There's our forest. Mistform Sea Swift. 3 and a blue for a 3/1. 2003. Damn, we still missed old school for this week, though. Flying. Pay 1. This thing becomes the creature type of your choice until end of turn. And you can morph it for 1 in a blue. It's probably not going to make the cut in anything I play. Reprobation. 1 in a white. Enchanted creature loses all abilities and is a coward with base power and toughness 0/1. I like that, actually. That's not bad. It's a good way to mess with somebody for a bit. Spell Shrivel, 2 in a blue. Counter target spell unless its controller pays 4. If that spell is countered this way, exile it instead of putting it in its owner's graveyard. Not bad. It has Devoid. I think that's neat. Satyr Hoplite. 2014. No, still missed it. 1 red for a 1/1 with Heroic. Whenever you cast a spell that targets this thing, put a +1/+1 counter on this thing. Neat. A Crone Skyguard. 1 and a white for a 1/1 flying. Also heroic. Also human somehow. Interesting. I would have thought, or a soldier at least, but I mean, I would have thought that was an angel at first. Anyways, whenever you cast a spell that targets this thing, put a +1/+1 counter on this thing. And Ghoul Flesh. Black, For enchant creature, enchanted creature is -1/-1 and is a black zombie in addition to its other colors and types. Interesting. Not sure what I would put that in, but that's a neat card for sure. I think Skullren's my favorite card out of this pack, to be perfectly honest. There's a few good things in there, but I think Skullren was definitely my favorite out of this pack. But today, I'm going to say still, the double Dormant Grove is probably my favorite hit of the day. You can argue with me if you think it's the Hulking Metamorph or maybe the Bearer of the Heavens, because those are both really sick cards for sure. But I'm going with the double Dormant Groves because that flip creature is phenomenal for basically any deck in green, so you don't have to tap your creatures to attack. And getting +1/+1 counters at the beginning of combat is always a nice effect too. So, I mean, if you're smart and you play it out, you could probably do +1/+1 counters for like 3 or 4 turns and then pick a creature to specifically flip or to trigger the flip on this so that you can give your entire board vigilance and swing with massive power. But anyways, that's where we're going to leave it for you guys. I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode of Dollarama Draws of Destiny. I know I have definitely enjoyed this episode, and it's definitely put some positivity in my day. So I hope it does for you too. In the meantime, in between time, from Kaiba at home and myself in the car to you, much love, take care, thank you for watching, and have yourselves a wonderful day. Bye!